Moving right along, we got some multi-hit moves that are learned by only one or two Pokemon. So let's get started with Hitmontop's Triple Kick. Right now, the way it works is that it hits 3 times for 10, then 20, then 30 power for a total of 60, and it has 90 accuracy. However, one thing to note is that each hit has independent accuracy, meaning that for example, the third hit could miss, but the first 2 could hit. So, Triple Kick right now is not used very much, if at all, by Hitmontops, even with Technician, because Technician Mach Punch is so much better considering Hitmontop's speed bracket, and it also has Close Combat, which is straight up more powerful than Triple Kick, even with the Technician. So, how about we do something drastic and increase the power by 50% and increase the accuracy to 100? That would mean 90 power plus the boost from Technician, which would still apply, which would put it at 135 without the defensive lowering drawback of Close Combat. That would be a pretty sweet move all of a sudden, and since Close Combat is currently so popular on Hitmontop, there's no doubt that Triple Kick would oust it and make it completely irrelevant. But hey, it's learned by only one Pokemon, so let's at least make it worthwhile for that one Pokemon. And this is the mindset that I had when making up power-ups for Bone Meringue and Gear Grind, for example. Bone Meringue, which is absolutely exclusive to Marowak. Right now, it's a slightly less accurate Earthquake that still hits over 2 hits. But I'll be honest with you, I think everyone prefers the extra accuracy, so Earthquake is used most of the time over Bone Meringue. So, of course, I had the idea of simply boosting the accuracy to 100. Problem solved. It would make Earthquake obsolete. But then again, Marowak is so underpowered right now that I think it wouldn't be overkill to increase the power of Bone Meringue to 60 as well, which would mean 120 power over 2 hits. That's pretty high, but not broken, considering that, in Generation 5 Game Freak games, such powerful moves as, for example, Quiver Dance and Shell Smash to weak Pokemon and such, I think it's not a problem to do so for offensive moves as well. Gear Grind is much the same for Kling Klang, and even despite having, one of those overpowered stat-up moves that I was talking about, like, Shift Gear, which increases attack by 1 and speed by 2, still nowhere near enough to give Kling Klang any use, considering that its type coverage, its move pool, is absolute shit. Now, just improving Gear Grind won't be enough. It needs more moves. But even if it got more moves, I don't think it would be very good all of a sudden. So this is why I decided, let's improve it the same way I would do Bone Meringue. 60 power, 100 accuracy. Here we go. Suddenly Kling Klang might be a little bit better. But then again, keep in mind that Steel is a crappy type offensively. So even there, it might not be enough. Maybe improve it to 70 or something, but let's just, start with 60 small steps, And finally, we have a duo of Bug-type moves that are just very bad at the moment. First, we got Twin Needle, which is learned by Cloyster, as well as a few Bug-type Pokemon, Beedrill being the most notable, since it's pretty much its signature move, but also Ariados, Escavalier, Scolipede. Right now, 25 power, 100 accuracy, and a total of a 36% chance of poisoning, considering that each individual hit has a 20% chance of poisoning. That means that the total is 36%. Nonetheless, that is still not enough, I think. So I decided to, buff it to 40 power, the same as Double Kick, Dual Chop, Double Hit, but retaining that poison chance, which would make it sort of an improved poison jab that would be bug type, slightly higher poison chance, and hits over 2 hits. Considering that none of the Pokemon that get it are very good, aside from Cloyster, that is probably not going to start using it if it gets the buff, well, I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that this kind of boost would be entirely justified. And finally, Pin Missile, which is one of the worst multi-hit moves in the game. It has always been, but now it especially shows considering how much some of them got buffed. But right now, 14 power, 85 accuracy, and I would increase that to 25 and 90 respectively, which would put it on par with Rock Blast. Pin Missile has a pretty decent learn base nowadays, nothing spectacular, but looking at the learn base, I can't see anything that would become super amazing just by virtue of this buff, but it would still give many Pokemon an option that they didn't have before. Maybe they don't even have any other bug-type moves to begin with or something like that, so at least that would do the trick if there are such Pokemon in there. Number 4. Add a 50% defense boost to Ice types under Hail. This is another one that I was talking about last generation, and I still can't believe that they didn't implement it in Generation 5. Hopefully it's going to happen in Generation 6. And yes, I know Ice types are miserable defensively unless they're called Mamoswine, but to be perfectly honest with you, Rock types aren't very good defensively either, and that special defense boost in a Sandstorm did wonders for some of them, especially Terrakion, which just loves Sandstorm. It might actually be able to survive a hit thanks to that. So yeah, do the same for Ice types in Hail. I wonder how that hasn't been done yet, considering this is the second generation of that Sandstorm buff existing. Number 5. Improve certain signature and other low distribution moves. Now we've gone over some multi-hit moves that could have fit under that description, but there are still others that, have their signature moves and still can't get out of the bottom of the barrel even with those moves. So let's take a look at what we can do to improve some of those moves. First, there's Head Smash, which is a sentimental favorite for many people because of its sheer destructive power and the potential that it has when paired up with Rock Head. Unfortunately, there are a few problems with Head Smash, especially the incredible amount of recoil damage that you take whenever you use it. 150 power and 80 accuracy puts it on par with Double Edge and Woodhammer and Flare Blitz and their other clones when it comes to damage output, but these moves have much less recoil, 33% to be exact. So what I would do first is that I would lower the recoil to that level for those that are unfortunate enough to not have Rock Head, and I would also alter the damage done so that instead of having 150 power and 80 accuracy, it would suddenly be a lot more reliable with 140 power and 100 accuracy, making it a stronger version of those aforementioned moves, Double Edge and its clones. But considering what kind of Pokemon learn Head Smash, looking at the list, only Donphin is overused, and it's not exactly overused because of its offensive prowess, let me tell you that. So I don't think having such high power with lowered recoil would be that much of an exaggeration. As for Head Charge, it's currently exclusive to Buffalant and will probably remain so for the rest of time, considering its Japanese name has the word Afro in it. Right now, it's a clone of Double Edge that inflicts slightly less recoil. Nonetheless, I can't recall the last time I saw a Buffaland that wasn't a wild Pokemon in either Black and White or Black and White 2. So I had the idea of maybe removing the recoil, but unfortunately that would make it incompatible with Reckless. So what I decided to do instead is to just up the power to 140 while still keeping that lowered recoil compared to my version of the new improved Head Smash. Chatter! Chatter. It's a move that's only learned by one absolutely horrible Pokemon, and yet that move is still so bad that it would be complete garbage on just about everything else in the game. So, the way it works right now is that it has 60 power, 100 accuracy, and it has a confusion chance that varies depending on how loud you yell into the mic when recording your chatot's cry. It's either 1%, 11%, or 31%. But even if it's 31%, that move is still shit. I mean, confusion already isn't the best status to begin with, so having such a low chance with such a low-powered move on such a bad Pokemon is just not worth it. So, time to really kick it up a notch, really improve it. How about 100 power, 100 accuracy, and guaranteed confusion? Kind of like Dynamic Punch under No Guard. And I mean, if Machamp and Golurk aren't totally overpowered with that kind of move, then how the hell could Chatot, of all things, be? So this is my logic for that. Chatter desperately needs an improvement, and a massive one, so this would be my attempt, if I worked at Game Freak, at trying to do something with that piece of shit. I mean, it's one of the rare moves that Smeargle can't even learn, for crying out loud. It's Chatot and Chatot only, so make it something special, damn it! And as for Crush Grip and Ring Out, there's simply no way whatsoever to justify using them currently. I mean, right now, the maximum power that you can reach with it is 120, and that's when the opponent is at full health, which it won't always be, especially with entry hazards around. So already you can see that it's already very hard to have it do more damage than Return. So it needs a boost, desperately. Now, considering that it's a rather unique formula, I don't know at which power it would suddenly start becoming decent, but the least I can do is at least change the multiplier from 120 to 150, so that it would at least be like a counterpart of Eruption or Water Spout that use the opponent's HP instead of your own. Of course, there's still the fact that you can use it successfully only once per opposing Pokemon, considering that its HP is going to go down significantly after the first hit. But hey, maybe Licky Licky is going to start using Ring Out. I don't know. And on top of that, it's a normal move. So what's the point of trying to buff it if it's a normal move and barely anyone will get to use it in the first place?